Hello Hoopers, Roro here from Project Hoop, and I'm uploading these videos that I originally taught as online classes during COVID-19. I'm sure you can appreciate that the quality of them is not amazing, but it's not about that. It's about making hula hoop accessible to anybody and everybody who would like to learn. So I hope you enjoy these videos and happy hooping. Bye-bye. So this lesson is on wedgies, okay? So it's going to be appropriate for people who can do one hoop and two hoops. So I'm going to kind of differentiate as we go. So we're just going to start with a simple wedgie, okay? So nice and simple. Is anybody struggling with a wedgie? Is going to be the first thing I shall ask. And just like show me thumbs. This is what I used to do as an English teacher. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs halfway. Yeah, so where are we at? Thumb up, nah. I know Anna's gonna, nah. Okay, cool. So what I want you to do, all on the count of 3, I want you to show me your wedgie. Now, go, go. Nice. Okay. Now, show me on the other side. Nice. Okay. Cool. Okay. So I'm not going to go too much into that because you already know. So I'll just briefly say, you want a hoop that you can saddle. Okay, so you want a hoop that you can get on, so it's not too high up. You're not having to stand up or anything. You want to have it in the middle. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from a start. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. So we're going to just start it from the bottom. So I'm going to take my hoop. I'm going to saddle it. I'm going to take my, remember this is my right side. I'm going to take my left leg and put it over to the right. And then I'm going to take my right leg and put it over to the left. So you should have your legs crossed in this weird Silence of the Lambs kind of pose. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull forward with your right leg and then pull to the side. Okay, and you should have this nice mechanism, okay, where it's nice and tightly wound. And what you're going to do is you just flick it and it starts. Okay. Nice. So let's go back into that. And you should just be able to, you want to pull it back as much as you can. Really give some tension onto the hoop because that's going to stop you, because I noticed a few people using hands. It's going to stop you having to use your hands. It's just going to flick it straight away into where it needs to be. Okay, so let's all get with that. Yep, on it, over. Nice, good, good. And like the thing to remember with wedgies, it's my like little saying I always think is it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Yeah, so if you're not swinging your hips, and we're going to come to this with people during doubles, it's really important to get that swing in. Otherwise, you're going to lose the momentum and it's not going to come up to where you want it. Anyway, okay, so we're here. We've got this. We're going to start it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go straight into continuous. Okay, so with continuous, as it comes over, so as it comes up to this point, we make ourselves very small. It comes over onto the other side, and then we push it back, making ourselves very small, and push it back and push it back. And I want you to push it back as many times as you can, okay? That's it. It's a nice little warm up for the morning, folks. That's it. So get it going. If you want to use that start, so you've got that nice momentum, if you want to pull it back, because that will give it a lot. That's it, good. Nice. And it's about keeping your your legs nice and tight as you do it. And like I said, really giving it that swing. Okay, so when I teach this, I always talk about you want to be like, you want to imagine like you're a soldier. So you've got this kind of march on, you've got this walk on. But whilst you've got this walk on, you've got this swing in your hips. Okay, so you're really pushing, 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 pushing. And that will really allow it to go over your head, over your head, over your head, over your head. That's it, very nice. Oh, don't get stuck. And that's why we really need to make ourselves small. Yeah, you need to make yourself as small as possible. So from this side. Yeah, and obviously, like what size hoop you use as well. I'm using a 30, so there's not a great deal of room in it. So if you are using a smaller hoop, you do need to make yourself as small as you possibly can. And you really want to, like I said, it don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing. You've really got to swing it and get it over your head. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly spot you, and then we're going to talk about adding 2 hoops to this. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. And like I said, if you want to rely on that nice little kickstart, that will really give you a lot of what you need. Whoosh. And if it goes wrong, you can just style it out. We're all capable. Okay, cool, good. All right, so 2 hoopers. Actually, I'm going to teach the next bit first, and then I'm going to come to the 2 hoops. So people with 1 hoop aren't going to feel a little bit lost. So very quickly, so wedgie into escalator, okay, nice and simple. We go over, 1, 2, 3, catch. All right, so what we're doing with that, let's have a look at you guys, you show me. Nice, Anna's got it. Can we already do that? Let's have a look at what we've got. Okay, that's continuous. Nice, nice. So I'm just going to quickly go over it then, because I can see it might be of use, and I'll do it very briefly, don't worry, and then we're coming to the 2 hoops bit. So to turn your wedgie into an escalator, what you're going to do is, as you pull it, okay, and you start to do this, you're going to let it come up, and as the bulk of the hoop is in front of you, you're going to kind of step in. Well, it's when it's behind you. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and you're going to step. Okay, so from this angle, 1, 2, 3, step. So when the hoop comes up, so I've got it on my right side, when it comes up and makes contact with this left side, I'm just going to do this little, like flamingo, step. Okay, and just get into it. Once you've got that little step, and it needs to be a little step, not a big step or an outward step, otherwise you're going to knock it all over the shop. What you want to do is really get your power going, and then you can send it up nice and easy. So right now it's on my left side, it's going to make contact, and I step in with my right leg nice and small, and I can bring it right up to the top. Lovely. Cool, and you really need to give it some power to get it up there. So let's talk about 2 hoops. So if you've got 2 hoops, get 2 hoops. If you want to stick with 1, it's fine. We'll sort that out too. Brilliant. Alrighty. So 2 hoops. You want them to be pretty much the same size, because you don't want to like get caught up in one of them and not the other. And you can kind of basically pretty much everything you can do with 1 hoop with a wedgie, you can pretty much do with 2. So let's go into that. So I'm gonna stand in my hoops. Okay, so 1, 2, they're just in front of me. I'm gonna put my right leg in and my left leg in. Yep, cool. I'm going to pull it up to that point. So my biting point is where I would call it. I've just taken that from my driving lessons. Yeah, so that bit of your legs where you know that they're going to stick. And you're going to have one hoop on top of the other. Okay, so they need to be one hoop on top of the other. Don't try and get them both in the same place. It's not going to work. You're going to mess your legs up. Trust me. Okay, we're going to let them come down. Yeah, so nicely crossed over. And you want to make sure that you've got enough of your hoop in front of you. Okay, because that's kind of where it's going to be at. If it's like this, you've got more chance of it kind of, they're not equal. You've got more chance of it kind of going wrong. So I like to make sure as much as possible is at the front of me, okay? Remember you've got that biting point, and remember what I said about the swing. So I'm gonna start with putting my right leg really over to the left side, and I'm gonna start swinging my hips, okay? And because I'm swinging, it will be hitting you on the sides as you go. Okay, so 1, 2. And you want to bring yourself really into it as much as possible. That's it, that's it, that's it. Let's have a look. Nice. It's good, very good. That's it, very good. And my advice is, like with most of these things, sometimes it's easy once we get it. It's easy, but what we want to practice is the getting it started, because that can sometimes be the harder part. And I'm making sure when I move side to side, I feel the hoops on the side of my body. I feel it there and I feel it there. And that's how I know I'm putting enough welly into it. Because if I'm not feeling it on these sides, I'm going to really struggle to get it over my head and catch it. That's going to be really hard. Okay? We're all good with that. Fab, fab, fab. Any questions before we move on? And we will go from like 2 hoops to 1 hoop. So I know that it can be a bit harsh on the old legs, but you're all at a level where I don't need to teach you to understand that. Cool. All right. So what we're going to do, what we just did with the escalator, we're going to do it with the 2 hoops. Yeah. So the same thing. So we're going to go into a continuous. But you're not going to be able to, you're going to really struggle to get both of them over and over and over and over and over. I've managed it a few times, but it is a struggle. So what you're going to go for is just getting 1 hoop over onto the other side. Okay, so we're going to go in with this. Oops, let's start that again. Okay, make sure that they're correct. There. So we're going in, and then we're going to duck. One's going to go over. Okay, and then we're going to take that into an escalator. Okay, so we want 1 going over our head. Way nice. Okay, and then we're taking that into an escalator. Very good. Okay, so I'll just demo again. Here, we'll go from this side. Whoops. So make sure you've got them where you want. Start it up. Over your head. 1, 2, catch. Nice. Whoops. Good. Very good. And when you catch it, you want to think about what you want to do next, so you can like swing into a double lasso. So you can see me a bit better. So you can swing into a double lasso, or once you've got it, you can kind of take it round and do a bit of a, oh, my stupid sofa. You can do a bit of a fold, or there you go. It's totally up to you. Okay, everybody okay with those things? Yes. Yes, very good, very good, very good. Okay, so that's our double variation. And now we're going to look at some more things that are a little bit more technical, but using just the one hoop. So I'm going to come back just to one hoop now. Okay. So if you are confident with your wedgie, you can take it into like so many different tricks. It's untrue. So I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna demo from here. Okay. I'm gonna use this start because it's nice, and it's a good idea to use this start so you don't have to stand there going, you know, looking like you need the toilet. It's just nice and clean. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is, as it comes up, I'm going to do what I did with the escalator, but I'm just going to keep myself really still, and where I'm going to go for, and I'm just going to get my hair out the way, is up onto my head. Now, if you can't head hoop, then you can get it onto your neck, and we'll talk about different places you can get it to. Okay, so nice start. And bring it, 1, 2, 3, and then I catch it onto my head, and then I can go directly into my head hula hooping. All right, so all we're doing is you want to keep yourself, remember, like axis, you need to be really still. Now, if you go for it like you're trying to do a header and you end up moving with the hoop every single time will fly off. So don't feel that you need to move your body to compensate for where it's going. You want to do the opposite. You want to stay nice and straight and really still. So over, and as soon as I make contact with my head, I spin, because the spin allows me to take it. So as soon as it comes up to my head, because I'm turning, it allows it to start up, and then I can just, you know, whatever from here. Okay? So if you can do head hula hooping, I want you to go on your head. If you can't, here's a little variation. So what we can do is we can get it up onto our neck. 1, 2, 3. That didn't have enough. Oh, Rasheen. So we get it up onto our neck. There we go. And once it's on your neck, you can do a little duck out, or you know, you can just have it on your neck and just take it off. It's totally up to you where you want to go from there. So either up onto your neck, which is the same thing, and I will demonstrate that less lousy this time. So here we go. Up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Contact. Moved my head. That's why that came off. But you want to get contact on your neck. Keep your neck straight, and then you're turning. There we go. And like I said, whatever you want to do, you can do, according to what you can already do, as I will be teaching head hula hooping and duck outs and things like that another time. Okay, so let's have a look at you guys doing that. Nice. Very nice. Lovely. Good stuff. It's nice at all. And that's it. I just show those little things and you add you into it. It's great. So let's have a look. So that's good. So Beth, when you bring it up, let's see. Because I think you need to give it a little turn, and when you're doing the turn, you're giving it a little push, which helps you keep it on your neck. So let's have a look. That's okay.
Sorry, I'm struggling to get enough momentum. Like it kind of goes to my belly, like even when I try to do the escalator one.
Yeah, so I'm going to watch you do it. Can I watch you do it from the side?
Yes.
Okie dokie. Let's have a look then. Okay, so things that are happening What I want you to try and do is, I want you to use this trigger start, okay? Because that, as soon as you pull your foot off it, it's going to have a load of, it's going to go really fast. So that is going to help you for starters. So no more holding it and kind of it being a bit flaccid and then trying to get it to go and having to use your hands and struggling. Stand on it, cross your leg over and get into that sucker there, yeah? And that will give you a good start. So that's number one. The other thing is, like I said, you need to stay nice and straight. And what you're doing is you're actually coming down, which I think is counterproductive because you're trying to send it up. And especially if you're trying to send it up onto your neck, if I'm going to try and send it here, but whilst doing that, I'm going to bring myself down, it's not going to work, okay? So I want you to stay nice and straight. Yeah, I want you to really drill, adding that trigger to your start, nice and straight, and you want to make that contact with your neck, or even just to you can do your escalator, can't you? Or is that a bit, yeah? So just, you're going for here, and all you're doing is you're replacing this hand with your neck, or your head, or another thing in a minute that we'll come into, okay? So you're just going to get up, it's there, it's on your neck, and then you can do whatever you want from there. My default is always I go to the head, or if I'm not going to the head, then I go into bunny ears, which I am going to demonstrate in a moment. Nice, cool, that's it. And you put a bit of an anti-spin on it, and that means, because what an anti-spin is, so like the anti-spin is like this. So when we stop and we catch the hoop somewhere and then we turn, so it's the same when we're learning to do this one. So when we learn this as a beginner, that's how I teach it. As you go down, you turn and you make that contact and you pull it. Yeah, it's the same with this. Once you make that contact on your head or whatever, because you give it a little turn, so it's got a like a anti-spin, it's not moving. Yeah, and then you're gonna, it's not an anti-spin, sorry, it's sustained spinning. Don't know what I'm talking about today. Sustained spinning, so it stays in the same place, yeah? Anti-spin is when we go against the direction. It gives it the momentum that it needs for when you stop to push into it and keep it going. Okay, so you really want to catch it in one place. You want to give a turn. As soon as you make contact with it, you want to go, you're coming with me, give it a turn, and you want to then start pushing into it. That's it, and getting your trick on. Very good. That's it. And just when, yeah, just staying still and catching it in the right place is where it's at. Nice. Yeah, and as soon as you've caught it somewhere, like I said, nice big turn, because the turn, once you stop, is going to give it what it needs. Okay, and that's what we came here to do. Nice. That's it. Nice. Very good. Very good. So if you're trying to get it onto your head, let it come up to where your head is. And like, it's totally normal. Like, what you will do is, because we have reflexes, your reflexes will be like move or don't. Like I said, just stay nice and still. Don't react too quickly, and don't move into where you're anticipating it's going to go, because that's when it's going to go wrong. Okay, so you want to be nice and still. Beautiful. Now, other variation that I'm throwing in, and I'm not going to teach the prerequisite, so it's just for if you do have the prereq, which is being able to do like elbows and things like that. You can do exactly the same thing. So Natalie, I know that you will be able to do this. So exactly the same thing as we just did with our head, but what we're going to do is, as we're kind of going into where normally we would catch it in our hand, yeah, so we'd catch it like this. What we're going to do is, we're not going to bring our hand up, we're going to drop down, and we're going to bring our elbow up, and we're going to catch it in our elbow, and then we're going to push and pass, okay? So as soon as we catch it, remember you want to drop down. Like I said in my previous lessons about doing this move, you want to make sure you're nice and compact, and you want to make sure that your elbow is in the damn air, because if it's here when you swing it, it's going to fly off, okay? So it's going to be here, you're going to catch it, and as soon as you've caught it, you're going to pass it. And you want to make sure that you really turn into it as you do it. So let's see what that looks like. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, up, catch, yeah, and then you want to go straight into it. Oh, that's not working for me. So nice little swing, whoosh. There we go. And then as I've got it here, I pass, and then I can do whatever I need to do. Okay, so you're just trying to catch it just on this. 1, 2, there we go. And you need to swing as soon as it comes up. And you want to make sure that you stand it up enough for it to be on there. So I'm just going to take it from whoosh, and make sure your hair doesn't get in the way. There we go. Swing. Oh, it's not working. There we go. Nice swing. Turn into it. And you can take it wherever. Okay, let's have a little look. It's temperamental, but when you start to get it, I've not warmed up with it this morning. Let's have a look. Okay. So yeah, you need to make sure it's coming up enough. It needs to come up so that you can catch it. Yeah, so you've got to send it up enough. So when it's like with your wedgie, and this is why I encourage wedgie escalator. If you're just doing a basic escalator or a wedgie, you want to send it as high as possible. So you want to be catching like up here. Yeah, so it's the same with this. You want to be whoosh, over and straight into it. And as soon as you make that contact, you've got to push into it. That's it. And you like the push will stop it from going a bit wobbly. But like you just saw with me, like I've not touched this for a week or so, which is bad. So the more you do it, the better it will be. Yeah, you will. So, and remember, you just want to be nice and folded. So like if you want to go into that, go into that. If you don't, work on getting it into just a basic escalator. You just work on that, that's fine. Or you can work on catching it on your head, or you can work on catching it on your neck, or you can even have it on your arm, yeah, like that, and then get in and take it off. Yeah, I'm giving all of this stuff so everybody has something to do. Okay, it's not an order to be able to do all of those things. It's food for thought. So if you are on one thing, you can be thinking about the next thing. Okay, so don't feel that you need to be able to do all of that right now, because not everybody can, and that's fine. Okay. Any questions? I'm going to let you guys play with that for a mo, and then we can look at some other stuff. Nice. And another thing, very good, what you want to think about is the direction that you spin in. So I spin to the left. Okay, so the one with the tattoo is my right hand side. So I spin to the left. So when I'm doing it where I'm going into bunny ears or head hula hooping, I start with it over on my left side, okay, because I'm going to bring it up and catch it on the right, ready to pass onto the left. Okay, if you're going from the other side, you're going to be going in to go that way, or you're going to have to change the direction. I don't know, I just think it flows better if you pass to the opposite side to then send the opposite way, if that makes sense. Okay, so have a play, there's lots to play with, tons of variations, and getting it on there. Like, practicing these bad boys can be like, can get annoying, so like, practice them now and boss what you need to boss. It's good. Nice. Cool. Any questions? Nice roll. Cool. Nice things. That's it. So, Beth, are you okay? Yeah? Yeah, good. Good. Nice. So, make sure you don't knock it out of the way when you do it. That's good. That's good, Lindsay. I want you to try and get it on your head. So as soon as it comes up and like touches here, I want you to turn into it. And then you've got it. Okay. Whoops. Nice. That's good. Another thing with a wedgie, if you start it, you can just stop it here as well, okay, and then you can push into like breaks or whatever you want. So you don't always have to send it like up to this area or feel that you have to be stuck in this like continuous loop. So what we can do is, as it comes up, you just put your arms over the top and then give it a push wherever you want it to go. Good. And my recommendation is when you catch it, so when you catch it, you want to really give it a push. Yeah. Or you can just take it straight into breaks as well. You don't even have to catch it. Okay, so like easier mode. Easy mode is getting your arms over the top. So all you're doing with easy mode is, as it's spinning, we're over the top, and that's where we go in, okay, as if we're gonna go into breaks. So just push, and then you're here, and then what you're gonna do is give it a nice push, and then you can do whatever you want. And then harder mode is gonna be just going straight into it, so not catching it, just going straight into some breaks. There we go. So I just naturally catch it on my chest, shoulder hooping, whatever you want to call it. So like practice those things, and it's about like, you've got the trick, but it's like, well, what do I do with it once I've got it? And that's what a lot of people struggle with, is sometimes getting from point A to B. So these are all different ways of going into different cool things, whether it's breaks, head hooping, elbows, whatever. Okay. So just play around with them. And if you're finding that you're struggling to get the hoop wherever you want it to be, just add in that nice little pull from the bottom, that nice little start, because it really will help you. That's it, nice. Good, yeah, you really, well done that. Yeah, you really need to give it some welly on the elbow thing, because if you catch it wrong and you don't give it enough of the push, it will fall down, as demonstrated. But if you do, also as demonstrated, you will catch it straight away. So it's all about points of contact and pushing. Okay, so there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots for you. Nice breaks. Keep your breaks nice and clean. Yeah, that's it. Remember, if you're doing your breaks, you want your back to be nice and straight as well. And I'll be putting on another breaks workshop this year anyway, because it's totally living room friendly. Nice. And another little, if you were taking it from breaks, so again, variation. So if you were going from these ones, so if you're going from your waist ones, yeah, or if you're going from like those ninja ones, what you can do is you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop. Yeah? And then what we can do is we can flip the hoop. Okay? And then I'm going to catch it. I'm going to do a drop down wedgie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch it on the behind of my knee. And I go for my left knee. Okay? So I'm going to go from this angle so you can see. So it goes into my knee crease. So I'm going to stand on my right leg. And my right leg tends to be my base leg. And my left is my flyer, hence why I have made this decision. So based on your anatomy and how you kind of do things, you want to base your decision accordingly. So as I've got it here, I'm going to let it drop down. Yeah, so it's going to swing and you should be in this position. So that's the first bit. A lot of you might be able to do this. That's it. So you want to really let it swing. And I want you to try and keep it locked. So if you've already got that, that's fantastic. We're going to do it with 2 hoops in a minute. If you haven't, then what you want to concentrate on is, and you can just go from your waist with it anyway. You can just do that, or you can like bring it up in the air and drop it into that area, and you're just gonna let it swing. And then what you're going to do as it swings down, you're going to allow it to come over your head. So you really need to give it a swing. And if you want to use your hands a little bit to give it a little bit of a push, you can. And you're going to let it come over and then go into your wedgie. So some of you will know what I'm talking about. Those who don't, this is what it looks like. So here, a drop, push. Yeah, and then I'm in this position to go into my wedgie again. So nice drop down. And my advice is you want to do your push. If you're doing a push, you want to do your push at the beginning. Yeah, you don't want to be like coming to here and then having to do it there. You want to do it all at the beginning. So when it's here, you want to make sure that you tilt your knee back enough so it's on that tilt, which is going to give it a nice swing. Okay, and you're going to push and go straight over, and you can't slow it down. Okay, so you're just going to have to, it's not something that can be slow mode. So really allowing it. So making sure you've got a slant, so you're kind of nice. That's it. That's good. And if you want, you can like usher yourself through. But I just think it looks better if you give it that push at the beginning. Then it just looks nice and seamless. Okay, so I'll demo it one more time. I'll show you from the back. So when we're taking your hula hoop, you want to be dropping it into your knee crease, and you want to make sure that it's it's tight in there because you don't want it to fly off. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to bring yourself so you're over, so it's got some momentum when you push it to swing forward. Okay, so make sure you're like that, and then if you want to give it a little tap to see it off, that's fine. And if it's nicely locked in your knee, then it will stay there and swing forward. So you've really got to play everything at the same time to get it over there. Nice. And if you're finding you're getting stuck, then you need to be more of a slant, you need more of a push, and you need to make sure that you're getting into it. So bring your head down to meet the hoop as much as possible, because like it's doing you a favour. And from here, and bring it down, whoosh, I'm in. And it's nicely locked between my legs, so it's not going to go anywhere. And then if I want to, I can just step over it, and then I can go into whatever I want. And we'll talk about catching it on your leg in a minute. Nice. Well done, Beth, that was good. Staying nice and straight helps. Nice. Good. Oh, nearly. So yeah, make sure you are leant over enough, and give it a push now. Give it a push back on it. Nearly. Yes. That's good, that's good. I know you got to practice as soon as you just like do it at like little points, little checkpoints. So as soon as you send it over, make sure your legs are like super clamped onto it, and that will stop it kind of going any way that it shouldn't be going. All right. Good, good. Nice. And there's also, like I said, you can do a drop down wedgie with 2 hoops. And where you want to kind of go from there is totally up to you. So if you want to practice it with 1 or 2, I'm going to give you some practice time in a minute because we have covered a heck of a lot. So I've got my 2 hoops. Let's say I've just done some whatever, but I've got to this point. Okay, so same thing. You're going to let them drop, push. Oh, you're going to let them drop, push, and you can go into it. I did it the other day, so I know it is possible. So there we go. So it's in there, push, over. Yeah. And then I can catch back up here and whoosh, whatever I want to do, I can do. Okay, so it is possible to do all those things. Yeah, I quite like catching up here is quite nice as well. It does allow you to take a moment to do some kind of formation. Just have a bloody breather. Take it off. Whatever. That's it. Nice, Lindsay. Very nice. So much to play with. So once you start to kind of get those points of contact and where it's going, then you can start playing around with getting it into different tricks, which will really help you if you're performing, or you kind of get to the point where you're like trick, and then you're like, I don't know what goes in the middle. So you can just play around with those things. Anyone got any questions? Yeah, let's go. Question time. Anyone? Questions? No? Good. you want to ask something? Yeah? No? Okay.
No, sorry, okay.
Okay, cool. Anna, you good? Yeah? Yeah. Good. Lindsay. Good. So yeah, just play it around with all the different things you have there, and in a moment I will show you getting into that nice little leg break from it. So yeah, good. Well, yeah, so with the swing with the two, you need to make sure they're nicely, it's like if I put them on my shoulder, if I've got them on my shoulder, I can kind of hold them and drop them down. You can just kind of wiggle them down to that point. Make sure they are caught in your leg, because yeah, you want to field test the hell out of this one, because if you take this out and it goes wrong, you're gonna look a little bit stupid. Yeah, my hair gets in the way, so I'm just gonna take my hair out the equation. Can never win. Now to put on my head for like elbows and stuff, but then it gets in the way. So here. Yeah, so make sure they're not tangled. Sit them on your shoulder if you can, and then you've got a bit of time to feel them and know what's what. And then you're going to drop them down, and you want them to be in that knee pit, and then it's going to go over your head. Up and in. Nice big push. Oops. Over. Nice big push in. Temperamental. Yeah, the drop one is always the challenge. Just hold them. Take that out. Okay. Yeah, have a good morning with it. The more you play with things, sometimes the worse they get. Ah. I'm gonna stop that. I'm just trashing the place. But then I carry on. So yeah, just play with whatever works for you. Like I said, as long as you've got them trapped, they will come over. And then you can go into whatever you want. Alright? But it is hard. And if you're doing that double drop one, you want to, if you can kind of make sure, sometimes when throw a little bit like that, it helps, as opposed to like that, because depending on how your legs are, you want to be able to trap both of them, but you don't want one to come off. Yeah, so have a little experiment with having them a little bit crossed over, if that helps. So a little bit more like that. If it doesn't help, don't do it. Okay. I would say both together is where you want it. Nice. Yeah, and it's easier to give it like a push as well. Way, there we go. And you can just stop it here and whoosh, into double lasso or whatever you want. Take it into planets, anything. And that's what it's about, just looking at these things and turning them into different things. Very nice. Good, lovely. What time are we on? Okay, so I'll end on this one. So the next one I'm going to show you is taking it into a leg break. So you're going to have like pretty strong leg hooping game for this one. If you haven't, then I suggest once you see it, you start working on that and getting down with it. So what I'm going to do is use this one. I find tape hoops are a little bit more gnarly with like wedgies and stuff than having untaped hoops, but that's because they get all scuffed up. But that's just my preference. Hold on. So let's have a look at bringing it from a wedgie into a leg break. So I'm going to go into my wedgie, okay, and again you want to be thinking about what side you're doing what, depending on what leg that your leg game is on. So you'll have one that's dominant, and mine is my right as my base and my left as my flyer, so I will default to that. So I'm going to go into my wedgie and I'm going to turn it into a continuous, and as it comes over, and it's right at this moment, I'm just going to like imagine that I'm frozen in time. You're going to get to this point here, and what you're going to do is you're going to push forward with your left, push back, push forward, and then push off into one leg. Okay, so that shows you again. There we go. Cool, you see me? Wicked. So I'm here. Go 1, 2, 3, over, forward, and then I am on my one leg. Alrighty. That's it. And remember, like, the trick is, well, there's lots to the trick, it's all tricks, but the thing to remember is when you're doing the leg break, what you're actively trying to do is a leg break, not a wedgie. Yeah, so you go from wedgie, leg break, and the way we do that is we need to make sure that we, like I said, we trap it at that point. That's really crucial. And as we do, we're trying to keep the hoop, come on, we're trying to keep the hoop. So as we're at this point, we want to get the hoop to go like this, not like this. Okay, so we go push, back. Okay. Just have to let my dog out. Springs. And you can get into that from a drop down as well. So you can drop that down, okay, and it's going to come over. Yeah, you're there, and then you can kick straight into your break. But you want to give it a nice little warm up, to be honest. So you want to go forward, back, yeah, or forward, back, forward. And the aim of the game is to get the hoop like this as opposed to like that. Yeah, because this is a wedgie and this is a leg break. So it's really important, well done Anna, that you lock it like that as quick as possible. So that's why I explain when you see it come over, that bit where you just go over here, you want to be like, hold it. Once you've got it there, then we can go forward, back, forward. Nice. And like I said before, like there's tons there, and that's because there is so much you can do with wedgies. So again, there's a lot there, not to overwhelm people, but it's just so you're always thinking about the next step. But there's nothing worse, from my experience, of getting to a point and then being like, now what? Yeah, so it's nice to have lots of now what's, this is what's next, that you can experiment with and kind of find what works for you, what your forte is, and then once you find that, you can just go absolutely nuts with it, have a great time. Okay. Just having a look. Any questions? Yes, please. please. Yeah, so we're coming to the end, so do ask me questions. Nice. No questions. Beth, any questions? Lindsay, any questions? Natalie, any questions? You're good, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Natalie, you good? Typing. And you're still in Tadar. Like, amazing. You're never going to come home. I won't come home. Let's have a look what you type in, hon. Once you've got the wedgie over your head, please could you go over how to make it flat for the next bit? Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's go back to the leg break. So what I'm going to do is I'll just take it from the wedgie. I'll cut out the drop down wedgie because you can just do that anyway. That's not important. Okay, so what you're going to do is the point where you want to get to is as you slide it, yeah, so as it comes over, yeah, you want to lock it straight away between your knees here, and you want to do this push forward, push back, push forward, push back. Okay, so I'm going to do that in real time because that was like all slow mode. Pick my hoop up. There we go. So go 1, 2, 3, over, kick, push, in. Yeah, but like the point is, so the big point where you want to get to 1, 2, here. As soon as it comes here, you want to lock this other leg behind it, so it's on my right leg because that's my base. So I lock my left leg behind it, which stops it from falling down. Yeah, which is then going to take it into a wedgie, which is not what I'm trying to do. So I lock it there, yeah, and then I give it that push forwards, which allows me to kind of maneuver it between my legs, push backwards, push forwards, and then I can push off. And you want to just play around with that, and then you want to try and clean it as much as possible, basically. And then you can get to the point from going like wedgie and then just straight into that. So like 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. 2, 3, over, push, and it's just straight without any messing about. Okay, that's it. I hope that helps. And if you want to unmute yourselves, everyone, any chance? Yeah, very quickly because we are on the last minute. That's why I asked the questions. Any chance to go back over the kick to net? Yep. So escalator, stood on top of it. I'm just going to go from this bit, and what you want to do is it's as if you're doing it to. Sorry, I'll start again. So you're in a wedgie position, and it's as if you are doing it to an escalator. But what you're going to do is instead of having your hand there, you're going to keep your body nice and still, and you want to catch it on your neck. Yeah, as soon as you make contact with your neck, even if it doesn't feel like it's exactly how it should be, you want to turn into it. So I talked about that sustained kind of spin. So you get that point of contact, and once you have, you can then swing into doing your neck hooping like you would with a lasso. So it's going to come up, and it's on my neck, and I can stop, and it's on here, and I can go into whatever. Okay, so one more time. There we go, it's on my neck, and then I can go from there. So it's about point of contact. Once you've got that point of contact, whoosh, take it with you. Yeah? All right. So yeah, just unmute everybody. Real good. Everybody unmute and say goodbye. And you've got lots to play with. Okay? So yeah, all good? All learned something? Very good. Very good, cool. Yeah, so like I said, just practice, which we will do anyway. And I will see you next week. I can't remember what we've got on for next week. I don't know if it's rolls or duckings. We'll have a look. But yeah, I'll see you next week. Anyway, I'm going to go and get on with my day. Have a nice time, guys. See you later. Bye bye.